Alright.
Hey, welcome to the Gashacast. This is the podcast where we're going to be watching every episode of X-Aid, no matter how mixed our feelings are on it.
Yeah, and we got some mixed feelings today for sure. At least I do. I don't know how Sean's doing on it.
I'm not sure, which I think does qualify as mixed feelings.
Yeah, those are mixed feelings. Just for the record, we are recording correctly, right?
I am.
I am as well. Last week we didn't have an episode, and that is because of, technical difficulties. But those technical difficulties are gone now, hopefully. We're good now.
Yeah, and it's fine, because this was pretty much a two-parter anyways.
Yeah, I think that we have, firmly gotten into the two-part, scenario thingy thing, for these episodes now. We started off in, we're gonna do one thing an episode and then move on, and I think we might be firmly in two parts now.
Uh-huh.
So, that'll be interesting when we get to it.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about any of the news and stuff before we get into it?
We have, we went over, in the episode that didn't come out, we went over,
Q
Ranger,
Uh-huh.
and I had a lot of nice things to say about it. I thought that the suits looked amazing. Sean thought they looked like shit, so I hate them.
I didn't use that strong a word.
You fucking hate them with everything you have, and I can't trust you anymore, so...
I think that they are unique and interesting, but there are a couple of elements to them that bother me. I'll probably be fine watching a show with them as long as the story is good.
You think they're garbage, and I think that they're the best things in the world, and the viewers, the listeners, they will decide who's the right one.
Yeah, because you can only think one way or the other.
Yeah, and I'm the right one in this case, so, everybody just in the comments, tell Sean how shit his opinions are, and everything will be great.
Yeah. So, just in time for Christmas, the Power Rangers movie toys have all officially rolled out.
And they're bad.
They're interesting. Have you seen the, teaser poster with the Zords, how they're gonna look in the movie?
Yeah, still not a fan. I think that
They look better than the toys.
They do. I will give them that, but, they were always going to look better than the toys because the toys don't look good. And I think that the best looking one so far is the saber-toothed tiger one. I think that one looks pretty sweet, but
that one does look pretty sweet.
But, none of the other ones are appealing to me at all. And we only got to see, 3 of them in that
yeah,
shop,
do you think
if
that...
I remember correctly?
Do you think that the reason that they put the saber-toothed tiger front and center is because it's the best looking one?
I don't know. I feel like if you're going to go that into it, if you're going to make a movie and make, weird designs and everything, you're gonna have, confidence in all of your designs. Or rather, you should have confidence in all of your designs.
So,
Whether you
in that case...
should have confidence in all your designs is a completely different thing.
Oh, jeez. I think that they do... they suit the style of the movie, and, following that, they do look pretty cool with, the blue lights and the weird cockpits and stuff. You know what? I'm gonna say I'm cool with this.
You heard it here first, everybody. Sean is for the Power Rangers movie designs. Entirely. Loves every single one of them. But hates Q Ranger designs. Just hates him. Just fucking disgusted by him. What a scumbag.
Oh gosh.
I'm sorry, I'm turning into a heel. I'm turning into a heel in this episode.
You're officially the heel of the
there's
podcast.
nothing
But you
that
know
you
what?
can-
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say, I think that the reason that I'm pushing to be so lenient on Power Rangers and I'm expecting so much more from Sentai is that I have the history of watching Sentai and it being good and I have a history of watching Power Rangers and it being bad, so I'm wary of the other thing happening.
That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make fucking sense at all, my dude.
If you watch something that's corny and objectively bad, but you like it, you want to see a version of it that's good. And if you watch something that is almost always pretty dang good, you are wary of a thing being the one that sucks.
But we already have the one that sucks. That's Zhurange, like Zhozher. Like,
That's just a matter of like your opinion, man. Anyways.
okay, Big Lebowski, let's go do some bowling. But let's... I, I, I feel like in the case of the movie costumes, the movie, like, designs and everything, I have already been let down by them.
Oh, jeez.
And I don't think that there's anything that can make that part of the movie good for me. It's like, if the writing is still as like solid as it looked in the trailer, if even like
Mm-hmm.
the movie as a whole is pretty good and the action is good and like if everything else is stellar, that's great, but I will never warm up to those designs.
All right, that's
Ever,
fine.
ever. It sucks.
You don't have to like them, and I don't need you to like them to feel whatever way I'm going to feel about them when I actually see them properly.
That's fair. It's
Um,
still gonna suck though.
and Dino Charge is officially over.
Which
Ninja Steel's trailer is released.
I don't know how to feel on either of those things because I have not watched Dino Thunder, though I will eventually Dino Charge rather,
Uh-huh.
and I will probably do that eventually, or at least give it a try. It looks all right, so
Hmm.
I'd give it a try.
I am
I
sad to see Dino Charge go. Um, from the trailer, I think that Ninja Steel is gonna be more of the same that I got from Dino Charge, which is pretty good. Although it looks like some of the American footage that they put in the trailer, they hadn't finished the effects on, or they just hadn't put the effects in yet, or something is what it looked like.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it and I was like, yeah, that looks a little bit unfinished and also sounds like kind of generic. Like the plot of it seems like your standard fare of
Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers, which is these aliens came from space and now they're trying to take over the world,
Uh-huh.
which
It's
would have worked
simple.
fine with like most other series, I guess, but like I don't know. It shouldn't. It should not be that these like monsters that are definitely based on Japanese culture are, well, at least most of them are
Uh-huh.
suddenly aliens for some reason.
Yeah, but that's never been a problem for Power Rangers in the past.
It has not because that's exactly the same thing that they did with
Hmm.
Ninja Storm. Ninja Storm. That's what it
Well,
was.
and every series.
And every series.
Right.
I'm just like uh,
Well,
I
don't
kind of
worry
wish that
about it.
like
You don't have
I
to watch it, but
I
for
don't
me,
I just kind of wish like I think that it's fine because like that's just kind of how Power Rangers rolls. But
mhm.
I sort of like as a person that likes this kind of genre and everything and would like kids to also be into this kind of genre because they are because it's Power Rangers and kids love it.
Mhm.
But I'd kind of like if for the kids that are into it, because if I'm honest, I probably never will be, at least Power Rangers wise.
Yeah,
Um,
I figured that.
I'd like it if they just kind of weren't all aliens all the time.
Um,
Just a little bit, not all the time, just sometimes.
they aren't always, or at least they didn't used to always be, but since Saban has bought the brand back, they've gone back into doing that full swing.
Like almost all of the ones that Saban did were aliens in some kind of way, and then
Yeah, in
Disney
some kind
went
of weird
away
way.
from like Disney went away from aliens.
Just because something is an alien doesn't mean they can't also do magic, which I think is a fun idea.
Yeah,
Even if it was completely unintentional.
that's fine. I don't mind that, but
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know. It's like I kind of like I watched a couple episodes of RPM not too long ago, and they were very stellar. I like them, and I'm probably gonna go back to that series eventually.
Mm-hmm.
RPM is pretty cool,
Yeah,
but
get in gear, motherfucker.
it's good. But like I didn't like that show had a cool setting going on with it because it was like, oh, everything's fucked up and it's the future and everything.
Uh-huh.
And like as far as I can tell, the villains weren't aliens, they were just fucking weird robots that we made and they
Yeah,
took
they're
over the
not.
world.
They're pretty straightforward in what they are.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's been a lot of like diversity in the villains, mostly in the Disney era. But like the reason why that series was so different is because it was some dude coming in who didn't really know or understand Power Rangers or Super Sentai and was just kind of doing his own thing.
And
Meanwhile,
I
Saban is kind of going back to doing the old, the I don't know what the word is, but basically the old guard of people who used to work on Power Rangers, bringing them back.
yeah, that old chestnut. Like I I do understand why it is as it is now. I
Mhm.
think that it's also fine that it is the way it is now, but
There's a
like
limited amount of people who have the abilities and passion for this specific project.
that's true. Well, I don't think that is true. I think that like there are a limited amount of people that that have the skill set and the drive and everything to do it, and more importantly, a extremely limited amount of people that have the license to do it. That is probably the most important bit of it, because if you like, I'm sure that there are a bunch of people chomping at the bit to actually do Power Rangers the way that they see it, but because Saban has the license and are like really frugal with it and would just like not let that kind of thing go at all. See
Hmm.
what happened to Chroma Squad when like Saban had the license to Power Rangers again.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
That that went that broke bad for them. Um, but like I don't think that Saban would just kind of let that kind of thing go, and they're probably not going to let go of the license of Power Rangers ever again because it's a huge cash cow.
Well, that's definitely true.
So, like, that's just kind of how things are gonna have to be for a while. I mean, like, maybe eventually they'll uh, get bought out or something will happen, but
Hmm.
as things
But
go,
I just
yeah.
it's a little weird that it's that's one of the things that bother you because Power Rangers has never been like what you go to for like unique storytelling experiences.
And I mean, that's fine. I understand. It's just kind of like as somebody that is a aspiring writer and everything, seeing like that retreaded so many times, especially when like the alien villains are all from different sources. It's a little much. I feel like it could have been handled better across the board, and it probably never will be, and that's fine, but it's frustrating.
Sounds mostly like you're talking about Megaforce.
Mostly talking about Megaforce.
Um, well, I just can't agree with you because Dino Charge had a lot of fun Rangers and a lot of fun villain personalities interacting.
That's fine. I'm not saying that the villain personalities are the problem, or that the Rangers are a problem, or that the story in general is the problem. Just like put it from different sources. Make it fucking undersea like monsters and shit or something. Make them ninja and undersea monsters. Make them like from a different dimension where like humans stop being a thing and they decided to go off and start taking over other dimensions. Make it something other than fucking damn aliens. Stop being xenophobic. Like, literal xenophobic.
This really bothers you for some reason, but let's just get out of here.
It bothers me. Yeah, let's talk about X8, where things are weird. Things are weird sometimes.
It really sounded like you had some stuff that you really wanted to talk about, so do you want to just dive straight into that?
Well, yeah. Again, seeing as these are 2 episodes that we're talking about here, we're not going to go in any kind of order because kind of like that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're not going to have a silly discussion about one episode pretending that we don't know everything that's going to happen in the next episode.
Especially seeing as we literally did like that episode last episode, and it was I don't want to go over old ground again, at least not the same way. But in these 2 episodes, this was the arc of Dragonite Hunter Zed. And
as a Monster Hunter lover, what did you think?
I think that it's cool. I think that Dragonite Hunter Zed is a really cool, like, Gashat. It's a good gimmick across the board.
Everybody's... In episode 10, everybody's, like, individual forms with the different parts looks really good, except for Kiriya.
No, I fucking love Kiriya's. Kiriya's is the best one.
Are we just going to have opposite opinions about Toku from now on?
That has kind of been the case for a little while now.
Oh, well.
It's just kind of like, we're battling each other. It's fine. It's fine because, like, we can just, like, give,
counter commentary.
I can be the heel commentator on everything, and you can be the face commentator, and we'll just work this like a WWE match, except we're not watching wrestlers, we're watching fucking men in spandex.
Right. I like how the blue and black, like a blade arm, looks on Brave, and I like how the crazy yellow and black arm looks like on Snipe. It makes me kind of like Snipe's design. I don't get it.
It's a good little bit to his design that's a nice, like, extra bit. Of all of the forms, like, I would probably rate it, like, I'd put it, the full armor set on X8 is the best one. I like that very much.
Okay.
Under that, I would put Kiriya, like,
Can you explain why?
Okay, so I like... A lot of people are going to be, like, against that form simply because he's, like, a little awkward in the head part because he doesn't have the big eyebrows anymore and he looks kind of weird.
Well, actually, I thought that was the best part of it.
Fucking weird.
Yeah, I guess.
You're fucking bizarre.
But
like...
I just don't like how many different colors it has.
I like that it has a whole bunch of different colors, but I especially like that he has little dragon feet. Like, he has little claw toes, and he even calls them his claws, because he has claws now. And I like that he's a fucking weird dragon boy.
He's a scaly now. I actually like Emu... I actually like Emu, Hiiro, and Taiga's individual forms better than the complete forms for either Emu or Kiriya.
Fuck it. Yeah, we're just gonna have opposite opinions, because, like, I like those forms as well, but I'd probably put X8's normal form, like just the head, the Fang form, under Kiriya, and then Brave under that, and then Snipe under that.
That is so weird, but I do agree with you that of the 3, Emu's is the best. I was expecting no one to like that.
I like it because it's really goofy.
I love it with the little wings and his head and everything. I don't
The
know.
little wings is the best part. My fit and like
Very cute,
uh,
Emu.
I like that form a whole lot. I like the form across the board a ton. I
Hmm.
just think that like the full form being super
Hmm.
chunky and everything
It's nice.
is cool. It's nice. I think that the main reason why I don't like Braves and Kiriya's not Kiriya's Braves and Snipes
Taiga
that much.
Hanaya. You run a
Taiga
hate blog for
Hanaya.
him and you can't even remember his name.
I don't want to remember his name because he sucks. But like, I don't like their forms of it that much because they have each one of the like
One of the arms and
leg
one of the
pads.
legs. You don't
No,
like
not
that?
even. Yeah, I don't like it.
You don't like the asymmetry? I'm a sucker for asymmetry.
I know you are, but like for me, it's not even that it's asymmetric. I just feel like they either should have both had the leg guard bits, like
Uh-huh.
had both of them,
But they're
or
color coded.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I just want them to either both have it or like not have it at all, and just
um,
give the whole thing to Kiriya.
I guess. I don't know about them both having it, but if they each only had one arm, they would look not different enough. And I
I
appreciate how the colors and everything look on them with those.
I appreciate the idea behind it, in that like it kind of seems like the two of them complement each other in a certain way.
I mean, they
Like,
are extremely rivals.
yeah, uh, and like it, I think that's an interesting bit of it. Like it's going to become more interesting as time goes on.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to seeing what becomes of their characters now that fucking Graphite is super dead. And like, yeah, I've been saying for the past two episodes,
Yeah,
one of
that's.
which we didn't like get out, unfortunately. But I've been saying for the past two episodes now that he's fucking Dunzo, and he's fucking
Mhm.
Dunzo. It's just,
That's unfortunate, but while I don't think that we're going to be getting another addition to the main villain team, like really soon, I am interested in seeing Pallid do more things.
yeah, it seems like he's gonna start stepping up pretty soon. And I don't know if we're going to properly see it next week. I saw the Gashat for it for
I
next week's episode, but
I am
we
wondering something.
what?
I have a theory that maybe Dan is gonna get his butt handed to him next, and then Parrot is going to be like more of a villain. I just keep mixing up my pronunciation of his name.
Uh, it doesn't matter. It's a weird name to pronounce, but I can understand that. Like, it's probably gonna end up that way. It's gonna be like the short form version of, or maybe the long form version of the generals coming out one by one and getting knocked down. But as things go, I don't know if we can really just go with Pallid
Hmm.
having the whole
The whole shebang.
like have the whole shebang to himself. Not for a long time. I feel like either Dan's going to stick around for very long,
It's just that
or
Dan we understand a lot more than Parrot, and Parrot works as like a direct contrast to Emu. They sort of work as like mirror images of each other. So that's why I'm interested in him being the final villain.
yeah, I think that he like no matter what happens, he's going to be the final villain. I think,
Ah.
um, unless like there's like a drastic change
Hmm.
or something, then yeah, I'm going to guess that he is the final villain. Um, but what I think is going to happen, not right away, but soonish, is that they're going to get more, uh, like general,
More writers.
not more right. Like we're gonna have like uh, another writer soon
Hmm.
because like in like 6 episodes because
Oh,
that's how
because you
Kamen Rider
know.
works. No, but because that's how Kamen Rider works. We
Oh,
go over this
right.
every time that
I'm
like
sorry, but I can't help it because I just
you.
assume that you know spoilers.
I mean, I do, but also like, come
Hmm.
on. Episode 16 is when it always happens every single season, except for like
Okay,
maybe 2 or 3. So like,
whatever. But
stop
we could
forgetting.
say that anyway. I was gonna bring that up anyways because, of course, in episode 10, Parrot and Dan, dropped the line that it's like, man, these writers suck. It's a good thing we're gonna be able to get new candidates after this stage.
Um, that's the weird thing is that they say that. It's not so much that like they say that we can get them after this stage, but rather, um, once we're done with this bit, we can drop these guys and start looking for new ones.
Right, it's a little vague. I wasn't expecting a bunch of writers to show up immediately.
Yeah. As things go, I don't know if I would be down for like
Hmm.
maybe three new writers. I don't think that I would be super down for that, but maybe two.
Do you think that the writers that we have currently, okay, if they do have two or three more writers, do you think that the writers we have currently are going to have to like learn to work together, and that the new writers are going to be bad guys?
I have I have two feelings on this. One, I feel like I have a bad feeling that one of them is going to be a bad guy, and it sucks because like I know what their costume is like, and I like them very much. I like them and their gimmick,
Uh huh.
but uh, I don't know anything about them. We don't really know what their deal is, but I know what their gimmick is and what their name is, and
Okay.
that is worrying going forward. Uh,
All right. Whatever that
but
means.
it's fine. Other people that know will know,
All
and that
right.
is what's important
I
here.
can
You don't
only
need to
hope
know
that people
anything.
will listen to this and be like, "Yeah, I get what he's saying." And
If you
just
don't,
ignore me.
this isn't. If you don't, it isn't for you.
Right.
Um, but the thing is that I have another bad feeling,
Okay.
and the other bad feeling, and this isn't coming from anything that I know
Hmm.
going forward.
This is
It
just a
just
sinking suspicion.
yeah, I have a sinking suspicion that Kiriya is going to die.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about him and his character and the fact that he feels like he knows a bit too much or is digging a bit too much.
Hmm.
Something tells me that he is just going to bite the fucking dust. Not soon, but like eventually down the line.
All right. I can't see that myself. I wasn't expecting this at all. Um,
It's just kind of like a feeling that I have on it. I hope that I'm wrong because even in this episode I had like I thought that his motivations on things were interesting if nothing else,
hmm.
and I'm liking that in the next episode he's going to try to be a cool guy again,
Hmm.
and hopefully will be the first
Yeah.
of
Because,
many to start being a cool guy.
yeah, Kiriya doesn't get much of this episode, but he is reluctant to help Hinata because Hinata is very suspicious.
He's suspicious because he like we still don't really know what he meant
Hmm.
behind in episode 9 what he meant by saying that did you really save uh fucking
Did you
Emu's
really save
life.
Emu's life? But I think
Yeah,
it was, I don't know, I think it was pretty clear. I think that Kiriya was operating under the assumption that he did the writer compatibility surgery on him and that he's lying to Emu.
that's probably the case. I just don't know what like what he was insinuating behind like saying
Saying that?
saying that, like saying the line like, did you really save his life?
Mm-hmm.
Is being a Kamen Rider like in this sense, is that like a
Death
uh,
sentence?
death sentence? Yeah.
Well, it's already. I mean, we've already established the stakes that being a Kamen Rider is deadly.
Yeah, because like if you get hit too much, you fucking die. But like
Well,
what we don't know is if being a Kamen Rider for a extensive amount of
um,
time, or like just being one in general, will cut your life in half, or
yeah,
it
because
will
that's a
it,
very Kamen Rider trope.
yeah, it is.
Um, but what I thought was interesting is that it's like he does the surgery on him, and like assuming he does do the compatibility surgery on him, then he gives him a video game. So you have to wonder if if Kiriya knew that, would he be suspecting like that Emu was being groomed to be a writer or something?
That is an interesting thing that I didn't think about. Is if like him giving him the video game after everything was grooming him to start up being a Kamen Rider. And if that's the case,
Hmm.
this was like this is way before uh, day 0 day.
Uh huh.
Like this was
Which I think
nearly
might
9 years.
which I think might tie into Dan being like, I want to understand the Bugster, which could just also easily be a lie, but it could also mean that the Bugster have been around before his discovery of them.
Yeah. Um, it's very weird. I don't know what like is the plot going forward from here.
Uh
It's
huh.
very interesting, and that's like half of the reason why I'm still invested in this.
Yeah, I think that a
Um,
part of that is that this definitely feels like as the bad guys are saying, this is the end of like the first stage. I feel like we're setting new goals here, and I'm wondering if Emu's new goal might be to get the writers to work together after this episode.
I would hope so, because it kind of feels like that's where it's heading. Like
Hmm.
the whole speech on being in a team
Right.
with Kiriya coming to Emu
Right. So I
to
hope
like
that
help him and
continues to
everything
be
in the next
like
episode.
I hope that continues to be Emu's like persistent goal.
Yeah, I feel like we've properly gotten out of the first act of well, I can't say first act because that's not really how shows work, but we've
Hmm.
gotten out of the first arc, I guess, of Xaid, and it's the setup arc.
Right.
Um, and now we're going into the friendship arc, hopefully.
We can hope.
Um, and at this point, I'm feeling like the friendship arc will go on until episode 16, where everybody is like on good terms, and then the new writer shows up and things get messy.
I don't have that much hope. Honestly, I don't have hope that they're going to all be friends until like 25 or later.
That's fair. I don't think that. I feel like even if it happens at like
Hmm.
close to episode 16, that I don't feel like they're gonna be friends by then.
Hmm.
But I think that they're going to be on better terms,
Uh-huh.
and at least not be at each other's throat all the time.
Right. And like speaking of this dynamic specifically, like what did you think of Emu in episode 10?
Interesting. I thought it was very interesting how he worked and how they pointed out some things about him, and the his plan in general was pretty
Right.
interesting.
Where he
Um,
drew all of the writers together individually, making these little promises and then being like as Asuna said, he was playing the game before they even started fighting. He had a plan.
yeah, like I I don't know if hmm, there's like an interesting way of interpreting that.
Hmm.
Like one is that up until then, up until that point, he was actually playing his own game with them to
Right.
get things going, and that was the interpretation of
Hmm.
uh, that, or that this wasn't a game to him, but because maybe the M personality thought it was. M
Uh-huh.
was out there the entire time.
Something that interests me and possibly worries me about the M personality is how similar it is to Parrot.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it in that kind of way. In that, like, it's much more aggressive. It's a lot more uh, dark in a way, I guess.
It's taking more
But
pleasure from what it's doing.
yeah, but like at the same time, it seemed like its goal was still uh, to
Hmm.
get to the end point, which was saving
Hmm.
somebody's life, and it was like he had to play dirty to get to that. But
Right. He took one
mm,
step forward in getting them to work together, but he took two steps back in manipulating them to do it.
yeah, um, and it like the manipulation kind of just turned into a more weird thing when the Gashat split into four and then
Right.
unsplit into four,
Yeah, what
and
do you
it
think
kind
of the
of
mechanics of that?
I think that it's a neat idea, but does nothing for them as a team
Oh, yeah, it definitely kind of throws a wrench into things. Um,
because it makes it both seem like uh, Emu had this plan going all along, uh, and then made it seem like he was going back
mhm.
on the whole teamwork thing because, well, suddenly they don't have that power across each other anymore. It's
Yeah,
just in the hands of M.
right. What I
Um,
thought was interesting is that he forced the three of them to work together against him as the hunted monster, and then once they beat him, he switched things up and made Graphite the target of all of them.
which kind of is mirrored in the opening, like
Uh
I talked about in the episode that we didn't go up. I gotta reference that a lot.
huh. No, please don't.
It's too bad I can't not because
I
I
think I
feel
see what you're
like
about to say, though.
yeah, I talk about a lot of stuff in the last episode, and then I forget that we didn't put that up. So it's like, oh right, yeah, I didn't actually say that on a live thing.
Don't worry
Fuck.
about it.
Anyways, in the opening, the three other writers are squaring off against Emu at the end, where
Mhm.
they had been squaring off against fucking uh, Genem before, and
I still need to go
so
back and check that.
it's in both of the episodes. Uh, uh,
Okay, I'm just blanking memory wise on that, but I see what you mean about them all squaring up against Emu in his Dragonite form, which almost makes me wonder if it's going to happen again or if that's just thematic of this arc.
well, I hope that it doesn't happen again. I am in a big way getting kind of tired of the way that
I don't think that trick
we're
would work
at.
twice anyways, so I take it back.
Yeah, I don't really want it to happen again, and rather I'd rather it be so that, like, at this point, if they ever use it again, which they probably will, it will just automatically happen if they're all there or something.
Hmm.
Just explain away the part that they have to beat up Emu to make it work. Um,
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
um, but like, I'm getting really tired of them fighting all the time. I just
I'm sorry, but Heal Emu in particular reminded me of Tendo, and I was having fun with that.
I I like heal Emu as Singso, or rather heal M,
Hmm.
because like during the part where he was in the full Dragonite form, he was like really gravelly voice growling and everything. Is like, oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
Um,
If you didn't want to differentiate Emu and M, then another fun way of doing that would be face and heal M.
yeah, that's kind of how it feels like at this point. Is that uh, like Emu is a huge baby face,
Hmm.
and uh, fucking M is a shit heel,
Hmm.
but like maybe not like a full shit heel, like he's a tweener. It's it's another wrestling term for somebody that's kind of in between of being a face and a heel.
I mean, it
It's
makes
like,
sense.
yeah. Um, but like there is another shit heel that was in this episode,
Uh-huh.
and that was Hero.
Oh, yeah, he was kind of, um, he was the shit this episode, but,
Hero is bad.
oh, I mean, he
Hero,
is, legitimately.
I don't dislike him as a character, I guess. I mean, like, I do in a way,
Mhm.
but like not as a written character. I don't mind him as a person. I fucking really don't like Hero. I think that sometimes he's written inconsistently. Sometimes
Mhm.
I think that he's written not so much out of character, but not in a way that would be beneficial to either himself or
It's
anyone
unfortunate
else.
because you were trying so hard to like him in the early episodes.
Oh, I was trying so hard to like him, but like until he does a face turn, which I
Hmm.
hope is soon,
Yeah.
he's just like he's both like inconsistently a hero, he's inconsistently a bad person. He's kind of a nerd that has people like waiting on him hand and foot and
Hmm.
then yells at them for no reason.
Right.
And he's also just like he seems to be against Emu for no actual proper reason.
Hmm. Other
I
than,
don't
like, egotism.
yeah, I don't like he seems like he's supposed to be the kind of character that has a big ego, but we've gone over that before in that like he has a big ego but
Except when
has
he hates himself.
except for when he hates himself and it I don't really know where they're going with his character
Hmm.
at this point.
Right.
Oh, don't everybody don't mind the dog.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. My dog wants to make a cameo.
It's fine. There's a dog in the last episode of the Adventure Zone, and it's fine.
Dogs are
We can
great.
dogs are really good. If there was only a
Hmm.
dog common rider, then we would be in like a really good shape. I mean, we've had
Maybe it's because they're almost always bugs, but they never do the animal theme. I guess that's more of a Sentai thing.
Sean. There's been several animal themed common riders.
What?
There's been a lot.
No,
Like
tell me.
like O's dummy.
Oh
Fucking
yeah.
fucking like I guess technically wizard counts because he's a dragon.
That doesn't count. That's a mythical creature.
No, mythical creatures are still animals. That counts.
I
That
guess.
totally counts.
It doesn't count as
Um,
specific animals to me.
well, I mean, I guess that's sort of fair. We sort of went over how like uh
And
the
then,
Deno forms
hmm,
are like we had a conversation on that the Deno forms are sort of animals
yeah, I guess.
except for
They don't look
Momotaro's,
like
but
animals at all.
I mean I mean Kintaro's does. I
Kintaros
mean the
does?
the forms don't, but like
Yeah, the
they're
forms is
still
what I was
based.
talking about.
The forms don't, but like they're still based on animals. I mean, like,
Kintaros himself
or
doesn't look that much like a bear to me,
he looks like a bear. He looks like enough of a bear.
I guess. He certainly acts like enough of one,
Yeah,
like
big sleepy boy.
Jungle Book. Anyways.
You watch the Jungle Book and like that. It doesn't have like the only thing that really has anything to do with that is Baloo.
Yeah, I know. Blue's fun. I like Blue. I
Jeez.
like Kintaros too.
Both good bears,
Yeah,
like grade A bears.
bears are good animals.
Bears are good animals.
Put bears in all of the fighting games.
But like, yeah, I mean, I guess there aren't a ton of animal themed
Hmm.
common riders, but
I
like
think it's that I can't believe I forgot O's, but like Ryuki too. It
also a
just
dragon, and
yeah,
also everyone else was also animals.
O's definitely has more animals in the like that are actually like important to the story in a way, I guess. But like either way, it's not really important to the thematics at all that these characters are based off of animals. I mean, you're kind of distracted by other things like the Rider War or the themes of the greed.
I guess. I
I,
mean, like, it's never going to be a big part of the theme, and like, I don't think that most of the costumes are ever going to be a big part of the theme in Kamen Rider shows. Like,
yeah, I don't think that.
fruit never had a thing to do with fucking Gaim.
Yeah, I don't think that
Like,
animals and bestiality necessarily.
um,
Um,
you
oh,
might
I
want to
mean the word
rephrase
is in
that.
like a beast.
I, uh, like,
Bestial qualities in humanity. That's a huge
that's
like theme in writing of all sorts of stories, and I don't think that's something that necessarily jives with Kamen Rider in the same way that it jives with Super Sentai. Because in Kamen Rider, it's more suitable to be like monstrosity within humans. I was thinking the word monstrosity, and then I accidentally got the word bestiality.
yeah, because that's bestiality is a different thing entirely. Don't look that up, kids.
Sorry.
Don't don't look that up. You'll get some bad stuff.
It's a good thing no children are listening to this.
You don't know.
Uh,
Don't like fucking don't promote this kind of stuff to kids on our podcast.
well, I won't. As a
We're
child, I
listen
definitely.
we are listened to exclusively by 12-year-olds.
As a 12-year-old, I frequented Newgrounds and watched a lot of things I probably shouldn't have on that age.
Oh yeah, fucking Ganguro girl, get in there.
Ganguro Girl?
No, don't. We're not going any deeper into that one. If
Is
you
that a
know that,
Newgrounds thing?
if you know it, then you know it.
Just
That's all
say
you
if
need
it's
to.
a Newgrounds thing.
It is.
Okay, I never encountered that. Anyways,
Well,
let's move
it's
on.
fine. It's good that you didn't.
Are we done talking about X8 already?
No, because I still have like some things to say about it.
Okay, we
Uh,
just got really off topic there, is all.
it's fine. We're a podcast. We're allowed to get off topic
Do you
because
want to
that's what
go?
podcasts do.
Do you want to go back to Hero being a shitheel?
I think I've said my piece on that. I think that he's
Mm-hmm.
like. I hope that they get his
Yeah.
character in line pretty soon when he does his face turn because I can't stand his ass anymore.
Yeah, I almost
He,
feel like they either don't know what they're doing with him or they're just relying on doing like really tropey things with him because you've got him, getting his ass kicked and acting like a child with the other writers trying to fight Graphite, then throwing a fit when he's injured in bed with his like lady assistants who I kind of forgot about and was half like kind of hoping that they didn't come back, which is
yeah,
tragic.
it's been 7 episodes now.
8.
I think 8. 8.
It's been 8 episodes since
they
they've shown
came
up.
in episode 2.
Yeah.
Fucking.
They might have
uh,
cameoed in episode 3, actually, but whatever.
Maybe, I don't know. The point is
What
that
are these actresses doing when they're not doing this? Are they like background characters?
maybe, for all we know, they're just kind of like people that are on the staff, or
Maybe
point
they're
is
models.
that like they're not going to keep on being. They're not gonna be real characters, so
Which is tragic.
it is.
Like, where even
Especially
is Hiro? Is he in the hospital or is that his weird house?
it's probably in the hospital,
Okay,
but like
probably. But like a really fancy room in the hospital.
yeah, but the thing that I wanted to bring up, like a big part that I wanted to bring up was one, the fact that Hero sucks.
Uh-huh.
2, the fact that I think Kiriya is going to die, maybe.
Yeah, I still don't get
And
that.
I don't know. I just like part of me just feels like
Is it because he's the most developed character already?
a little bit.
Hmm.
It's like that is one of the big reasons that I feel that way is that he is the most well-developed character so far, and that's usually not a great sign for the mortality of a character.
I'm gonna be bitter if that happens.
I'm gonna be really bitter, like much more bitter than people were about like Graphite dying, and I was the one that was on like every episode saying how Graphite was hot and that I love Graphite and I like him a whole lot. And when he died, I wasn't
Uh-huh.
all that surprised, and I also didn't feel a whole lot.
Okay.
Not so much because I didn't like his character or anything like that. I thought that he was interesting as a kind of generically motivated character, like I'm gonna
Okay.
take over the world kind of thing.
Also, because he's
Um,
sexy.
Also because he's sexy,
But Kiriya,
obviously.
like in the next episode, we can see him working together with Emu again. He's much more consistent in that than the others. Um,
Yeah,
so
I feel
he
like
he actually kind of fits his pre-show description of being Emu's ally.
yeah, but it's still kind of weird because he acts against Emu in this episode, and it doesn't feel like there was a good reason for that.
Um, well, I don't think he was acting neutral against Emu. I think he was just acting neutral against everybody else. He didn't seem like he was particularly targeting Emu in his weird
Yeah.
neutrality.
There was something that I wanted to bring up about Kiriya, which
Hmm.
isn't like super important, but it was something that I noticed in this episode, especially, but also in like some other things that he's like fought in so far. Um, I think that it's interesting that the way that he moves, the way that he acts and everything while he's in costume,
Uh-huh, the suit
uh,
acting.
yeah. The suit acting is significantly different from how he acts in like outside of the costume. Like he seems like he's a lot more free to do stuff in his big bulky suits. But
Um,
also, the fact that when he is in costume, he acts a lot like Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles.
kind of like goofy and doing a lot of weird flourishes.
Doing a whole lot of weird flourishes and like doing lots of flips, doing lots of unnecessary action and whatnot.
Hmm. But
And
while he's been in a lot of serious scenes out of costume lately, he definitely made the impression, like early on, that he was kind of like the goofy guy, and he did like flourishes, and he like is constantly like fixing his jacket that he's wearing on his back just to be cool.
yeah, I think that like a lot of people were very like fake mad at him about his jacket on
Hmm.
Tumblr not too long ago. Like
Yeah.
when I say fake mad, I mean like they weren't actually mad about it, but they were making fun of him for being a fucking weirdo that wears his jacket like that.
I think that that and the way his in battle like suit actor portrays him is I think it all suits him. I think it all goes together. I like it.
It does. It's just that like I noticed uh during the whole fight scene that they were in episode 10 that boy, he just is really excited to be there. He's just
Yeah. I think
like
that part of that is that all of his scenes when he's out of costume are usually like very serious intrigue scenes, but when he's in costume, he has to be the levity to contrast with shit heels like Hero and Taiga.
yeah, it's like one of my favorite things is that like when Emu was charging up his big fire breath thing that he has, uh like Kiriya was like really scared of the fire, dropped down
Hmm.
on his butt on the ground, spread his legs apart like really wide, and let the fire go through him, and then yelled at Emu for almost burning up his claws, as he has stupid claw feet.
His stupid claw feet. Yeah, man, Carrie is a character who gets a lot of. He serves a lot of purposes in the show. He's getting a lot of shit done. Um, he's good.
I feel like what I'm about to say is a bit unfair,
Uh huh.
but I think that I would have liked the show a bit better if Kiriya was the designated second writer
Uh huh.
and Hero came in a bit later.
Hmm. Um,
And
I don't know because like I just don't know because like I don't see a hierarchy to the other three writers. I see them all as basically being secondary writers. It's kind of like in Agito where I wouldn't really qualify either G3 or Gills as being secondary and tertiary. I would just call them both secondary.
That's, I mean, like that's fair. But what I mean is like when when you think of the characters and everything, uh,
Hmm.
and you think of them as a unit, when you look at them, and this is something that goes with the color thing that they have going.
Uh-huh.
When you look at them and you like specifically introvert the colors, invert rather the colors and everything of
Yeah.
Xaid, it changes to Blade's Brave's color rather.
Hmm.
Um, it changes to his color, uh,
Yeah.
and like vice versa. So it kind of comes off as like they're supposed to be the ones that are
They're
supposed
supposed
to
to
be a
be the
team
duo.
first. Yeah,
Um,
and like not
and I
everyone
think they
like
are
the
intended to. I think they are definitely intended to be that, and they are just not pulling it off.
yeah. Well, they're not pulling it off because they fucking hate each other at this point. Like
Oh boy.
Emu doesn't like Hero. Hero doesn't like Emu. Nobody seems to really like each other except like Kiriya seems to, at least on a certain level, respect and like uh, Emu. He's just kind
Hmm.
of like he didn't want to be in the situation that they're in currently because he doesn't trust Hinata.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought that there was an interesting motivation for Kiriya in that episode, whereas nobody else had a good motivation at all.
um, that's fair. Uh, it's it's just really unfortunate when you're talking about characters who are not all written as well as each other, and some of them are more tropey, and some of them are less developed than others. You know, it's just
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it's unfortunate, and it's like it sucks to have it be that kind of way, and it makes me feel bad because I don't want to have that kind of feeling towards Hero or Taiga for that matter. I'd like them to be interesting and at least semi deep characters that are at least on par with Kiriya,
Right.
but we don't
Ever
have
since,
that for them yet.
yeah. On Kiriya and then on Hero. Kiriya, it's funny. Ever since you said that you think that he's gonna die, I've been thinking about it more and more and noticing more similarities between him and the Kamen Rider Ryuki character, Kamen Rider Raya Tezuka.
I I got a confession to make. I have not watched most of Ryuki. I've watched the first like 15 episodes and I don't remember it that well. I
All
will
right.
get to Ryuki eventually, but
Should I
like it's a
explain or should I just leave that to the people who are listening?
you should explain at least in part without that much spoilers. Uh,
Okay, so explaining it pretty vaguely, you've got like Shinji, who I guess works as the parallel to Emu, and then you've got Ren, who sort of works as the parallel to Hiro, though not as well.
yeah, not as well. I know that much. That
Where
Ren's at least a cool guy, and
where you've got like our core writer who cares about saving people, and you've got our secondary writer who cares more about himself than saving people, and then a little bit down the line you get Tezuka, Kamen Raya, who is on Shinji's side and is nice and great, and of course, because of what I implied earlier, dies.
yeah. Was Raya the one that's
The pink
what
one,
animal? Oh
he
yeah, the
was
pink one.
the
I
manta
was gonna
ray
say that. Yeah, I was gonna say was it the pink one because like
or a stingray.
it. Yeah, I think it was a stingray. But
Yeah,
either
yeah, that
way,
makes more sense.
um,
He's also the
I
one with the fortune telling, which I thought was fun.
yeah, I did hear that he was a fortune teller. It's like I know a good amount about Ryuki
Mhm.
and stuff. It's just kind of like I don't know much past the first 15. So,
Tezuka's a fun character.
see,
Uh,
I'll have to get back in
mhm.
and watch more of it.
And
I need to finish that.
so back to X-Aid. um, another thing I wanted to bring up with Hero is that they gave him an unusual like scene. They devoted a bit of time to him at the end there, thinking about avenging Saki, which wonder. Um, I wonder if I'm reading too much into the scene, or if that scene was just intended to like acknowledge that he had the grudge, or if you read into it, if it's about him like finding revenge unfulfilling and just wishing he could go back.
There are, uh, mm, I there are a few ways that you can interpret that scene, and one of them is another point of worry for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'll go over the ones that I think are fine first,
Mm-hmm.
and like uh, go down from there. I think that the interpretation that it is him saying that he wishes that he could just go back and that revenge was not fulfilling because,
Mm-hmm.
like,
It just
it's
isn't.
not going to bring her back.
Right.
And if that's the case, if that is his feelings towards it,
Mm-hmm.
then that's good because that means that his character is developing, and that means that he can change as a person
Right.
and become a better person.
Yeah, that seemed to me to be what the scene was telling us because he explicitly says like, revenge. I'm doubting it now. I wish I could talk to you again."
He says it a lot more like, at least going by Excite subs, he says, was revenge, even worth it at this point?
Mm-hmm.
If I could just have one wish, I would wish that you were back instead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that is a point of worry for me,
Uh-huh.
because the concept of wishes have been brought up, and I don't like when that kind of thing happens in Kamen Rider, especially when you can draw a lot of parallels to Ryuki,
Oh,
and
right. And Ren wanting to sort of wish back his girlfriend.
I don't want this to be Ryuki 3. Ryuki 2 wasn't very good.
That was the worry going into this show, wasn't it? I'd forgotten.
Yeah, it was. And I don't want the precedent of wishes becoming a thing. I want it to not be a thing. I
Well,
want it to fuck off.
has wishes been a thing anytime else?
Not, well, that was half of the things in Gaim. Like, that was
Right, but
half of the
besides
point
Gaim,
in
I mean,
Gaim.
in X8, has it been brought up before?
Not really, but because it has been brought up now,
Now you're
and
worrying.
especially in a point where the character is starting to have doubts and starting to like show signs of wanting to change things,
Mm-hmm.
I am worried, especially now that we've gotten to the point where like we've gotten all of the main Gashats, and now it's going to turn into like
Mm-hmm.
tertiary and special Gashats and stuff like that. I am worried that that is just kind of how it's going to go from now on.
I am always surprised by your input and opinions. Whenever you say that you feel a certain way, I always come up with a completely different reason why to feel that way. And when you said that you were worried about this scene, I came up with a totally different reason to be worried.
Why were you worried about this scene?
Well, I was worried that it's like, oh no, I'm unsatisfied with my revenge, and it's going to be like, well, Graphite just arose from Saki. He's not the person who infected Saki, so I was wondering if the revenge grudge was just going to be moved on to another character.
It might. I mean, for all we know, it could be moved on to Dan, because we're finding out who Dan, like that. Well, I mean, we already found out, but they're going to find out that Dan is properly the one behind the Gashats
Hmm.
from now on,
We
and like
always
the
talk about the
bookstores.
next episode previews like it's no big deal, but I know that there are some people who skip those.
I know, but like a lot of that kind of stuff is important to the current talkings about, and it's like I don't know. I feel like part of it is important to talk about in the now, especially. I like the idea of talking about what we could think is going to happen from that point on.
Hmm.
And especially think like I want to put forward a thing like
A theory?
something that, not even a theory but more of like a bit of confusion
Hmm.
from this point on, which is we know that Dan is the one that is at least behind a lot of the things that's going on with
Hmm.
the Bugsters. And we know that in the next episode the characters will know.
Uh-huh.
So, why the fuck do they keep on getting new Gashats?
Uh-huh.
They're going to continue to get new Gashats from this point on. And
Are you worried that Dan's going to keep handing them out and people are just going to keep accepting them and it's going to be like Gaim all over again?
not so much that, as much as I'm not even worried about it. I'm just confused about where that's going to go. Is it going to be that Dan is actually a good guy? Like, actually?
Mhm.
Is he a double agent? Is he well, okay, so, like, they describe him as the double agent in the preview for the next episode. Is he a double agent?
Uh-huh.
Fucking double triple agent?
I don't know.
Who knows? And that's like why I like talking about the previews, because it raises questions.
Mhm.
Because we, like in most cases, when we're done with an episode, we don't really have much else to go on outside of like uh,
Scans.
scans and that kind of stuff. And I like theory crafting. I like being confused about that kind of thing.
All right.
So unless the preview has like something that is specifically big spoiler related, like when we were talking about the last couple episodes and whatnot, we don't unless it has something that is big, real big to the story, I won't bring it up in like a preview. But if it's like, oh, the characters found out about something, and so did we technically by looking at this, that's fine. I feel like I feel like if it's in the episode, it's fair game.
All right. um, that's pretty important to clear up, but I'm cool with going along like that. We can still theory craft without watching the next episode preview, but there's no way that I'm not gonna watch it. So,
At this point, I'm watching the Raws every week simply because I want to know where the plot is going to go
yeah. So
before I see.
you're already meeting me halfway there.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know. I just kind of I have no patience, so I need to fucking see what's going on before anything else. So
Hey, that's
I
fine.
wasn't like that with a lot of other shows, and I definitely wasn't like that with Ghost, and until like the last couple episodes where I was like, oh, I want to see, I want
Right.
to fucking see.
Just
But
because it
like,
was exciting.
yeah, but like that's what's weird with X8 is that even when I am kind of against the things that it's doing, I am so invested in the story and where it could go at this point that I want to see it sooner. I want it in my hands right now.
Hmm. You are having show anxiety.
Uh, a little bit, but it's more like the kind of feeling you have when a cliffhanger happens and you want that shit in your hand right now.
That's what I call
Uh,
show anxiety.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Um,
It's a pretty
I
generic
will,
term.
I will say though, something that we brought up in the Lost episode,
Uh
uh, is that, and I'm going to bring it up now
huh. The
so that
Lost
people
episode
know
is a
because
rat title, by the way.
It's a pretty good one.
Uh-huh.
The lost episode of fucking the Gashacast.
This episode's now
Um,
going to be called the unlost episode.
that's fine. I'm good at that.
Hmm.
Um, but something that I brought up in the lost episode is that I don't like the director.
Uh-huh.
Not the director of the series. I'm sure that they're fine. But no, I mean the
Oh yeah.
medical director, Hiro's dad. I fucking hate him.
I didn't realize that might have been confusing to say that you don't like the director, but yeah, he doesn't do anything too interesting in this episode either, besides show off his abilities to go people papa and not fuck up.
Yeah, he's very good at that kind of thing, but
See, he auditioned
he's
for Poppy first.
that'd be interesting to see.
Hmm.
But I am. We talked like I said, we talked about this in the Lost episode, and I was very much
Hmm.
just tired of him being
Around.
around
Uh-huh.
because he doesn't add anything to the episodes. He
Hmm.
doesn't add anything to the series. He seems like he's a
Right.
plot device, but
Like,
not a very efficient plot device.
uh-huh. Like in this episode, Hinata, suggests that, like, I'm gonna have to leave everything to you, director, if I die. And it's like, okay, sure, but that's not important to this episode or anything ever. And also, I wouldn't trust this guy because he's a klutz. And like you said, he has no potential.
Yeah, we said that I said that until episode, I think I gave him until episode 20.
Hmm.
Yeah, I gave him until episode 20. If
Yeah.
he doesn't show any potential to grow as a character and become a real boy, if he doesn't become a real boy by episode 20, he is never going
Going
to
to
become
be.
a real boy.
Okay. You gave you gave him a nice big round target there. Big hole number.
Yeah, he has 10 episodes to become a good,
Um,
real boy.
And the thing is that even though I said in the last episode that I think that he does have potential, I don't think that he is going to become a real boy in the next 10 episodes. Even though our argument was that you say that he has no potential and that I say he does have potential, I think that his potential is squandered and that he's never going to get it back. And you seem to think that he could gain potential in the future, which is weird to me.
I think that I think that 10 episodes is a good amount of time for him to become a proper good boy and like a proper big good boy.
Hmm.
But the problem is that like the way that Kamen Rider shows work is that unless you have proper character development in the first 20 episodes, I feel,
Hmm.
um, you're not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
You're not going
like
to go
there's a
anywhere
lot of characters.
significant.
Yeah, like there's a lot of characters in Kamen Rider series that are tertiary
Hmm.
and like add to it by
Right.
bringing goofs, I guess,
There are
but they don't
characters
add
that go
anything.
places, but they don't go any place significant.
Yeah, um, and that's a bit of a problem in his case
Mhm. Um,
because he is so in there. He is so in there around everybody else all the time, so that like it's sort of like
he sticks out.
he sticks out.
Mhm.
He's the only one that doesn't have anything really going on with him,
Yeah.
and more importantly, he's the only character in the entire series that does the weird like drive
Yeah,
cutty
he does the weird
around
stuff.
thing.
He's like Poppy, but he doesn't do anything redeeming.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like Poppy's going to get character development before him. Like absolutely.
um,
Uh,
the thing about him is that he is a Kamen Rider's dad, which is a rare commodity, and
oh
especially
yeah,
especially in the early episodes, he would function excellently as a supporting character in Hero's characterization and in developing Hero's relationship with other people. Him acting as a sort of a mediator, someone who can talk to both parties. and expand.
And he's done none of that shit.
He has done none of that shit.
He's done none of it.
Yeah, and the reason why I don't think anything is going to happen with him in the future is because we have already not done any of that stuff, and we have already established Hiiro as this weird black hole of characterization.
Oh,
It's just a mess.
That's a rough way of putting it.
That is a rough way of putting it, but that's how I feel.
It's fucking real mean, but it's not. You're not wrong.
Would it have been better if I said he was a train wreck? I was considering that.
I mean, like, he is definitely a train wreck. He's not exactly a black hole yet, I feel.
The reason why I call him a black hole is because I feel like he is actively sucking away characterization, not just from himself, but from his dad and from his ex-girlfriend.
Oh,
and
you're
from
not
graphite.
Wrong. And from graphite. Oh.
See, this is why he's a black hole.
I feel like, if nothing else, he's sucking away from
your enjoyment.
Not my but like sucking away from Taiga. I feel like the real crime here is that in most cases, in episodes where Taiga could get development, he is not, because fucking Hiiro comes in to fight him.
Yeah, Taiga is unlike. He's not a black hole. He is just an empty void. He's a blank sheet of paper right now. He's not anything yet.
He is a interesting, like, focal point for
violence.
Conflict,
I don't know. I don't see him as interesting in any way.
He's good for conflict, but he needs to have more substantial characterization rather than just being, I don't want to play by your rules, man.
But his characterization is getting sucked into the Hiiro black hole by his rivalry with him.
Yeah. And I'd wish that they would just settle their fucking shit and, like, I don't know, kill each other. I don't care.
Get him out of the way.
If they kill each other, then that leaves room for Kiriya to become, like, the main second writer, and fucking everything will be fucking real good.
I'm sorry.
No, because you're right. And, like, it's rough, and it makes me feel bad, because, like, there are people that really do like all of these characters and like them for different reasons, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I, and Sean, in this case as well,
we agree for once.
We agree for once, which is bizarre. But, like, we agree that those two characters are really rough. They're rough. They're, like, rough draft characters at this point.
Yeah, an empty void and a black hole. I'm seriously considering making Hiiro as a black hole also the title of this episode.
I mean, I think that's a fair thing to do. Like, make it a Rocky and Bullwinkle thing. Like, it's the unlost episode, or Hiiro is a black hole.
All right, that's what we're going with then.
And like it is just really weird.
You might notice my voice is going out on me now.
Yeah. Did you bring water?
I did, but I already drank it all.
Good job.
Thirst.
It's fine, because, like, I didn't bring water at all. I'm a real smart guy. But, like, I think that we've said just about what we want to on this episode, but, like,
on these two episodes.
On these two episodes, we barely talked about episode 9.
9 was a void of content.
It was. I mean, like, it set up a lot of things, but it wasn't really anything. We fucking struggled in the last episode we fucking struggled for content in the last episode, and we spent like
amounted to nothing, unfortunately.
Yeah, we spent half an hour talking about Q Ranger and how much Sean fucking hates the costumes, and and you'll never hear like the true side of him on this issue because it's lost to time now. But like, you'll like trust me on this one. He said some really mean things about those costumes will never be able to be brought back.
This is funny on levels that no one will be able to appreciate but me, because you haven't heard it, but my side of the audio in that episode sounds like I'm some kind of horrible robot demon.
That's because you said mean things to Q Ranger. Fucking utter scumbag. I also like the Lost episode. I called him out on saying good episode or good podcast rather.
Well, you didn't have to say it now. It's never going to happen again.
It's never going to happen again. But I needed everybody to know because you did it in the last like 2 episodes as well.
Yeah.
This is fucking.
I'm sorry about it.
Horrible, rude person taking my catchphrase.
Sorry.
Fuck off.
I apologized.
Yeah, well, now you're getting called out in this episode as well.
Alright. I gotta apologize in both the Lost and the Unlost episodes, I guess.
Good. That's how it should be.
Plug your things.
But hey, like, we did it. This is an episode.
Yeah.
It recorded, and it's going out to the people eventually.
Oh, yeah.
Probably tomorrow.
Well, I don't have exams anymore, which is what mostly was putting off finding out about how lost the episode was last week. I don't have finals anymore, so I can just get this done pretty much right away.
Yeah. Fucking good stuff.
Mm-hmm. A fun Christmas treat. A fun finals treat?
What?
I don't know.
We're not at the Christmas episodes yet.
No, I know.
Not until fucking next week.
I'm one of those people where the whole month just feels like Christmas.
It doesn't feel that way to me because it's nothing but stress. But hey, we have like a Tumblr that you should check out if you haven't.
Go to
and
the Gashacast Tumblr.
It'll be in the description, and I think in the next episode we should open it up for people to send in questions to us.
If you want to send in questions about anything in Kamen Rider X-Aid, totally unprovoked or without a prompt, if you have a question or something you want us to discuss on the show, just go ahead and send it in.
Also, I'm going to, as the co-host and the proper, like, coolest person on this show, get fucked, Sean.
Oh, no.
As the coolest person on this show, I'm going to open it up for Kamen Rider questions in general.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
We should talk, like, if you have any questions about Kamen Rider for us, anything that you'd want us to talk about, send them into the Gashacast on Tumblr, at tumblr.com.
God, imagine if someone who didn't know anything about Kamen Rider tried to listen to this.
It'd break really bad.
Oh, yeah.
They would be super lost all the time.
These podcasts don't work without the episodes, because we don't do that lame episode summary stuff that takes a half hour to get through.
Yeah, we did that in the first episode. It didn't go good.
Mm-hmm. A lot of podcasts do that. I'm beginning to see it more and more as a waste of time now that we've stopped doing it when I listen to other podcasts.
Yeah, because, like, for the most part, it feels like it is such a structured way of going about it that it feels just rough to get through. Mm-hmm. It feels like we're piece by piece looking at a thing instead of just talking about it. And it feels rough. We would be here for like 20 hours talking about fucking Kamen Rider if we went beat by beat.
Yeah, those early episodes were long.
Yeah. We only did it for like 1 episode though.
Oh,
it was like, hey, we should stop.
That was your wisdom though. I'm not going to take any credit for that.
Because, like, I thought it was a bad idea.
Yeah, and since then I have come to see the wisdom in that.
But, like, it's fine because, like, when I did my podcast, I basically did the same thing of, like, going through the episodes, but it was Wizard. And Wizard's plot
can be confusing.
it can be confusing, but it was also very simple. It was like most episodes was just like, hey, here's this guy, they're fighting the monster, and the monster's neat, and like here's the thing that happened. And that was basically it. That is how fucking Wizard episodes worked. And since then, things become a lot more plot-heavy.
Oh. Yeah, that's fair. I was forgetting about exactly when in Wizard you were doing the episode. Ugh. I haven't watched Wizard at all since it was airing, so I barely remember it. I almost feel like I should rewatch it, even though it's a bit of a Monster of the Week affair. It's still real fun and funny.
I really like Monster of the Week affairs. I don't mind it. It's like, sometimes Kamen Rider doesn't do it super great, but like, most of the time I'm like more for Monster of the Week than I am for semi-rushed plots. And that was sort of like what I didn't like that much about Gaim, is that like it felt like it was kind of rushed, and I liked the Monster of the Week formula a lot better.
There's something stable and reliable about the Monster of the Week formula, and without it, you just kind of like, it's easier to lose track of the plot without these reminders of the stakes.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. It's like, I kind of, when I was watching Kamen Rider, like at first, that was what I came into more than anything. Is like, I came in on Den-O, and then like went on from there into, I think the next one that I watched was W, or Double rather.
They've got those like strong 2-part arcs.
Yeah, both of like almost everything in like that era had like strong 2-part arcs.
I almost feel like those episodes would have been more suited to just be longer.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes not so much, but
it's like, I don't know if we're ever going to get like a hour-long type
well, Kamen Rider Amazons
show. Oh, true enough.
Yeah. Watch more of that shit.
Maybe.
It's good. It's surprisingly good.
I know it's good. It's just kind of like something about Amazons. I think part of it was just that like I was kind of out of whack with certain Kamen Rider standards, so it's like I didn't want to go back into like grim dark seriousness after a good amount of stuff that we have been through in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So
we were getting tired of the like 2-episode arc formula by the time, you know, it was a formula to get tired of like pretty quickly. I mean, they were doing it for like what, 5-7 years?
Yeah,
but it was. I'm starting to miss it. It was a really strong formula.
Well, we are like, it seems like we're going back into the 2-episode formula now, because I have a feeling that the next episode, the one that's episode 11, is not going to be the end of the arc that they're going for right at the moment. So it's going to go into episode 12, which is going to be the Christmas episode, because it airs on actual Christmas.
Maybe not. I don't get the same feeling that I did in those old 2-part arcs.
Well, we've had 2-part arcs in a row so far.
Oh, that is true.
And the next one seems like it's going to be a 2-part arc as well, because episode 11 looks like it's setting up certain things, especially setting up like something with Genom.
Did Ghost do this?
Ghost did not actually do that. Ghost was like one episode and done episode.
Always, all the way through?
For the most part, like there was some like examples of ones that like went over from one episode to another, but they usually got a.
I guess I was wondering if this was going to be like that.
Maybe. I mean, like, there were some episodes of Ghost where it was overarching for sure. Like, there was a good amount of them, actually. But, like, usually not a couple in a row.
I jumped the gun a lot earlier when I just yelped out that you should plug your stuff.
Well, uh, yeah, we went into a whole nother thing, but let me just say that I'm pretty sure episode 12 is going to be the Christmas episode because it's going to be, uh, you know, on Christmas, and
Hmm.
also because we didn't see any of the Christmas forms in the preview for episode
Hmm.
11.
That kind of messes with
And
your two-part arc thing.
uh, does it?
I think it does.
No, it wouldn't because like
So we're
we
gonna
see
resolve Dan being unveiled using the power of Santa.
not in that episode. In episode 12.
Uh, but this was episode 10 that we just did.
Yeah, so it's going to we're going to have everything break down in episode 11
Uh-huh.
and then have it come back up in jolly cooperation with Christmas in episode fucking 12.
I just do not see that.
Well, it's too bad cuz it's going
Let's
to
move
happen,
on.
I bet. Let's move on to the actual plugging
Yeah.
bit.
We briefly
Um
plugged our Tumblr.
Yeah, we've plugged our Tumblr. Send us questions. Do that thing, and we'll answer them here uh, on the podcast.
Yeah.
One thing, just real quick, if you're going to send questions, send them one per ask. Like send one question per ask, and we'll get to them like that. The last time that we got a question, which like a bunch of questions, which was very much appreciated, it was from one person, and it was several times over in one ask, and that was really cool of you, person. But like, it was a bit too much to take in
Hmm.
as a series of questions that were all tangentially related to each other. So,
I was
uh,
borrowing from a certain other podcast's way they do it.
yeah, but like we should do it like one at a time
All right.
for like
Yeah, people send in your individual questions or comments or answer weird questions that we bring up in the episode.
yeah, it's not like limited to one, just like make them separate so that it's a bit like cleaner, I guess.
I want to know how people listening to this respond to my anecdote about Hero being a black hole.
Uh, I'd be interested in seeing that as well, and more importantly, I want to know like what people think about my thoughts that Kiriya is going to die.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's what we want to hear from y'all.
yeah, give us your feedback. You can also do it through the YouTube channel in the comments if you're so inclined.
If you're feeling
But yeah,
frisky.
you wanna hear your feedback on all of that. But let's plug our other stuff specifically. Hey, I have a YouTube channel. I have a gaming YouTube channel where I play a bunch of
Mhm.
GBA games. And in the past week, like not this week, but last week, I had Sean on for a bunch of episodes,
Yeah.
and it didn't go super good because my computer is shit.
Last week was the
Um,
week of technical difficulties.
yeah. But the good news is that I'm getting a new computer, probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, not only am I going to have like better quality videos, hopefully, but I'll also like be able to play different games
Hmm.
than just GBA because my computer's shit.
Yeah. I like GBA
Hopefully.
Funhouse a lot. I personally especially enjoy the episodes when you're really flummoxed by a bad game.
Oh, you're in for a treat because the episode that I'm putting up today is one where I spend probably something like 20 minutes stuck in a hedge maze.
Oh gosh. That's gonna be
Oh, it is bad.
Mhm.
But
Look forward to
yes,
Barbie.
look at yeah, we have Barbie week coming up next week because I'm doing everything in a
Alphabetical
alphabetical order.
order.
Um, but like yeah, go check out Rad Plays. It's basically what you would think it is. It's all one word. So it's Rad Plays.
Yeah.
Go check that out.
Rad Plays is in a play on Let's Plays, not Rad Plays is in Rad's theatrical productions.
Yeah.
No one was confused
That's pretty
about
much
that.
it. I don't think anybody was confused about that, no.
Yeah. But I don't have anything to plug. I have a Tumblr. You'll see the link.
You have a Tumblr, you have a potential Star Wars podcast
You shouldn't promote a
doing.
potential future thing.
There, you can.
No.
You can. Like, I plugged my potential Patreon. Speaking of, hey, check out my Patreon for my Rad Place YouTube channel. Because I need the money to survive.
Yeah, give him money so that he can give you the funnies.
Yeah, I'm good at both of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Both those things, money and funnies. I'm a good talker. So that was the Gashacast. We did it. we fucking did an episode.
I think your only weak point as a co-host is ending the episode. Because I have to wait for you to do it so that you can do your thing.
No, the point is that we do the episode. We say that the episode's done, and then I say good podcast.
Like you just did.
No, not like I just did. I gotta be like in the mood for it.
All right. I didn't know you needed to wine and dine you into ending our podcast.
Yeah, you do, and you don't do it any time. Fucking.
I'll try better.
Yeah, please do. I feel very unappreciated all the time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I appreciate your unique.
I don't give a fuck. Let's end the episode of fucking good podcast. Bye, everybody. I love you.